everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to That's Comical, and if you happen to be watching this on a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. So yes, today we are not going to necessarily be talking about a brand new comic book movie. Rather, we're going to be talking about a television show that I recently binged, which is actually connected very closely to a certain series of movies. So I was blessed to finally get my hands on Disney Plus, and because of the fact that now I have this streaming service, I of course knew that there was a lot of stuff that I personally needed to catch up on, and one of those things was the series of MCU television shows that bridge the gap, if you will, in between films. So, of course, you know that I personally was not really on board with the fact that this was actually happening, as well as the fact that when Kevin Feige had said you don't necessarily need to watch these shows, it really seemed, especially after I saw the post-credits scene from Black Widow, that I sorta kinda had to at some point in time. So now that I finally had access to Disney Plus, I finally bit the bullet, much to my chagrin, but to a certain degree, not so upset. And I started off by watching what was originally supposed to be the first MCU television show to come out, not WandaVision, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Once again, we see Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie reprising their roles as Bucky and Sam, also known as the Winter Soldier and Falcon, and this is supposed to take place right after Avengers Endgame. We see that the world has officially been restored after the 5-year blip, and now because of the fact that this has happened, the world is trying to get back to normal, but there is a certain group of terrorists called the Flag Smashers that do not want this to happen. They appreciated the fact that when there was half of a population that people were a little bit more concerned with each other, there were no borders, and everything was not necessarily in short supply, but now with all of these people back, things are starting to go back to the old ways. So of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier team up sort of reluctantly to try and put a stop to this, but at the same time, Sam also made a big sacrifice by donating Captain America's shield to the Smithsonian Captain America exhibit because he just didn't feel that he could be the next Captain America and take Steve Rogers' place. But all of a sudden, it turns out that instead of this shield being on display, it is given to a brand new Captain America, a decorated Army veteran named John Walker, who would eventually become the comic book character U.S. Agent. So I personally didn't know what I was getting into when I officially started these. I do know that when I was visiting my in-laws, we did watch Loki, and I personally was not really into it, but I will be reviewing it because I did in fact rewatch it for the sake of making a review here. So the truth of the matter is, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a very good series. The acting is stellar. It was also great to see actors like Daniel Bruhl coming back to play Zemo, and this time we finally do see that he is a Baron Zemo, and I was even very happy about the fact that they even got him to wear the mask and a certain little bit of leopard trim on his trench coat. So thank you, Marvel, for actually giving the true comic book fans a little something that they craved. Also loved Wyatt Russell playing John Walker. He did a fantastic job. He was actually the character I was looking forward to watching the most on the show. Also, Julia Louis-Dreyfus returns after the post-credits scene from Black Widow to play Val, and I am really curious to see what her character is going to be later on down the line. But what I really did appreciate was the best character in this story is actually one that doesn't even have a single line, but rather its actions speak louder than words. See what I did there? And it's Captain America's shield. We see it transferred into very different hands throughout these 6 episodes, and we really see what it does to the person who holds it, and it is up to the person to decide what this shield really does symbolize, and it is because of the fact that when John Walker has it, it is when Falcon notices that he really should not have given up the shield, and he really should have taken it for himself, and because of what happens, we do eventually see Sam become the brand new Captain America. So, did you necessarily have to watch this show if you wanted to not get lost throughout the movies? The answer is not really, because there is going to be a movie very soon, Captain America 4, and pretty much Falcon is going to be Captain America. So, if you never saw this show and you watch this eventual Captain America 4, you're pretty much going to say, okay, he did what Steve wanted and he became the new Captain America. But what Falcon and the Winter Soldier really does is it gives you a little bit more into Sam and Bucky and Sam's transition to actually becoming the next Captain America. There's a lot more personality, a lot more emotion, and especially considering the fact that Falcon and Bucky were two characters that we did get in the MCU films, but not really enough of. It was great that this show gave us a little bit of an expansion on both of these characters, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them whenever they will show up in the future films. So yeah, I would definitely say that it's fun. Like I said, if you never saw it, I don't think it's really too much to be concerned about, and I personally am glad that I did watch it, because I will say at this point that I have watched all of the current MCU shows, and I would definitely say that this one was my personal favorite. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I will see you in the next one.